Welcome to Porter County Perspective. I'm your host, Hamza Sahli. I'm joined here today by Erika Mihalek, Public Relations Coordinator, and Keri Barrón, Executive Director from Porter County Recycling. Thank you for joining me today.
Great to be here. Thank you so much for having us.
So first, can you give our listeners an idea of exactly what Porter County Recycling is?
Absolutely. So we are the Recycling and Waste Reduction District of Porter County. So we are a local government group that helps area residents to recycle right. We have large emphasis, of course, with recycling, but also zero waste. Our group is tiny but mighty. We venture out to school systems across the county. We extend education to area students and youth groups. And beyond that, we really work to help individuals connect the dots when it comes to recycling. There's a lot of nuances to the topic. So we're here to educate above all.
We're just not recycling. As Erika mentioned, we're also on zero waste, but many other components of recycling also include composting. So actually, the district, we refer to ourselves, since our name is so long, the Recycling and Waste Reduction District of Porter County. We call ourselves the district. So when you hear me reference the district, that's us. We manage 5 compost sites in Porter County. So you in Chesterton actually have a compost site. It's just not open to the public, but the district manages that compost. So what does that mean? We turn the leaves, we help the decomposition process. And then when your residents want to go get in spring, the compost or the mulch up at the Chesterton Street Department, you get that and put it on your lawn. It is the district who manages it. So we manage them throughout the county, from Portage to Chesterton to Valparaiso, the Pines, and Boone Grove. We also all the household hazardous waste events. So we had them earlier this summer, one here at Westchester Intermediate School. The district also manages that household hazardous waste. Your electronics drop-offs, your fluorescent bulbs drop-offs, your smoke detector drops off, your battery, all of those drop off. Strack and Van Til drop-off recycling. If you've been in the Strack and Van Til parking lot, you know those 10 blue recycling bins. That is part of what the district manages.
So very clearly, you guys offer so much to our community. So before we get into all of that great stuff, could I ask you guys how you are directly involved with the organization?
Absolutely. So I serve as Public Relations Coordinator with the district. I assist in producing collateral and extending community group presentations out to area individuals, and really securing various media for us and extending out the word to the public.
And as the director, I oversee all of this. So part of my job is with a governmental organization. We have to be fiscally responsible. So we are a separate organization. So we do manage our budgets. We have to be fiscally responsible. We could, collect our fees, but we also have to manage and make sure that staff and our sites are all properly functioning. So we have lots of partnerships. We have partnerships with the municipality. So we have a great working relationship with the street department here in Chesterton. Across the community we do as well as other solid waste management districts, elected boards, different officials. So my job is kind of my hands all over it. I have to make sure everybody's following through, and we're following through with our mission as well, which is to engage every Porter County resident in a waste reduction lifestyle.
Definitely. And it sounds like there's a lot of moving parts that come in organizing all of this. So what I would ask you is, I realize that there have been some complications with the processes that you guys carry out recently. The district just reported that a sharp increase in resident recycling wrongs and contamination have been showing up across the county. And so has this been a big cause of concern for you? And what would you recommend to our community to do about it?
Of course, this is actually a giant concern. Unfortunately, in 2017, when China refused the plastic recycling, it sort of started. So the other part of the issue is many residents believe in what we term wish cycling is, oh, look, this has a triangle on it that says it's recyclable, therefore I need to recycle it. Or so they wish that it can be recycled. So they think that when they put it in their recycle bin, that some person is individually going to go through their bin and sort out every item. And that is incorrect. The machinery that it's an industrial manufacturing sorting facility. So it's not a person who's individually, it is being sorted by a machine, and individuals are pulling out some odds and ends, but you cannot throw in a garden hose. You cannot throw in an electronics batteries are actually starting fires at these facilities. And I mean, that's a whole nother side issue. But what's happening is there's so much contamination, number one, so then they're refusing the recyclables. And number two, what's happening is people are just leaving them and contaminating outside the drop-off locations. So what that does to the district, for instance, so they're 8-yard containers at Chesterton. We actually have 10 of them. And so if you think about that, they're serviced 4 times a week by Republic. But I send out staff 2 to 3 times a week. So I have staff that work 6 days a week. I mean, we manage things 6 days a week, but 3 times a week, somebody is out at these locations picking up someone else's garbage, it rained all weekend. And we had people who have just left boxes that are just cardboard boxes that just need to be folded up and put right inside of the container. And they just leave them. So my staff now goes out and has to pick up somebody else's recyclables that are just sitting on the ground that needed to go in there. You know, it could be a carpet. It could be water bottles. It could be a television. Actually, yesterday was Monday, so I have pictures left and right. But we had 5-gallon buckets, a television, and cardboard and styrofoam that are just left right outside of that. So why is that a problem? Number one, the cardboard can be recycled. When it's soaked and saturated, it is no longer recyclable because it's destroyed and it ends up in the landfill. So that, number one, is concern. Number two, this requires, and we are funded by a $20 user fee that residents pay on their property taxes in May. It's $20. It covers all of these services. It's amazing. It's an annual fee. And what happens is when my staff has to keep going out to these sites, these are other things we cannot do. You know, when you think, oh, there's more recycling, there's more opportunities, there are more things we could investigate and look into. We are now just putting a staff member to run out to, and we have 6 locations throughout the county. So when you think that 2 to 3 times a week, staff are driving around those boxes just to make sure and just to clean up, because we're good stewards. We lease the locations and we want to be known as a good tenant. So we don't want to be leaving garbage and things laying around. So it's a big problem. And the other problem is people want to know, where do I recycle this? So I'm just going to go right into the next, usually what follows up with when there's a problem, how do you do it? Many times you have to reach out to us, or you can reach out to your waste hauler. I realize, municipalities, if you live in the city limits, more than likely your municipality is the person who picks it up. Meaning if you live in the city limits of Chesterton, Chesterton's going to pick up your garbage. Or if you live out in the county limit, maybe you hire Waste Management, or you hire Republic, hire Star Disposal, whoever. You have to contact them, because what happens if you have a mattress? What do you do with it? What happens when you have something that's unusual? You can reach out to the district through our Facebook, through our info@portercountyrecycling.org. You can reach out through our phone number. We want to help residents, but you can also reach out to your waste hauler too.
Sounds good. So it sounds like many of the problems that have been being caused recently are completely preventable. And when we're looking at the neglect that we're seeing with these items, they cause so many problems like you just listed. Now, you did just list a few resources. Would you mind repeating for me, where could any of our listeners find the information about any particular thing that they want to dispose of, whether that be website or your Facebook, just for the record?
Sure.
Absolutely. So website is a great starting point. We are forever updating details, streamlining vendor listings, forever incorporating sort of new details to our sort of subsets and our topics. Big popular item with our website is the recycling directory. Individuals, different users can interact with that site, that space, and secure details that they're after. So everything from, I have this fax machine, how do I recycle this? To, I've got all these plastic bags accumulating in my kitchen. Where can I go? What's going to be closest to me? So I am forever on the lookout of different vendors, different resources for us. We're constantly updating our information. And, equally as much, we also extend to the public that should details surface, should you encounter a group, an organization, absolutely extend that our way. I'm happy to intercept that email. Also, we're, accessible via our info@portercountyrecycling.org email address. Help us help you. We're forever on the lookout. Beyond that, beyond our website, Facebook is a fantastic resource for us as well. We are constantly looking at different campaigns, different topics to help individuals sort of in their everyday. Something as simple as a battery, right? It's this hard little piece of metal. What is the best step that we can take to recycle that? So just those very simple details, helping individuals in their day-to-day is what we are all about. And then beyond that, we intercept inquiries daily, of course, on the phone and via our main phone line, which we'll extend to the viewers in the moment, is 219-510-1124.
So moving past that information that they can use to better approach recycling in their day-to-day, I know that you guys offer many different programs. And so a certain subset of those programs are classes for adults, which could further help them to do that. And so could you please detail exactly what's generally offered in these programs and then how someone could get involved with them?
Sure, absolutely. We actually currently we host twice a year master recycler classes, one in the fall and one in the spring. We're actually in session right now. We have local residents meet our vendors in essence. So right now, last night's class actually was on composting and how you can not review our industrial composting, but actually do backyard composting. So what do you do with your food scraps? What do you do with your grass clippings? A whole bunch of different things that you can use in your house. We also invite our material recycle facility involved, and they tell us they are the sorting facility. So they tell us what they accept and what they don't accept. So we invite these different vendors in. So you learn about recycling, you learn about how the whole trash process works, from it getting sorted to a transfer station to being carried off in a semi to making it to a landfill or actually making it to the facility, making it to the recyclable facility. And then what drives the recycling facility is it's a basic supply and demand need. It's your basic economics. Is there an end product? Can somebody buy this used plastic? Can somebody buy these milk jugs? And that's what then fuels someone else's business. That is their manufacturing material. So we cover those. We bring in our household hazardous waste vendor so that they share what happens to the actual chemicals. And, let's say somebody brings in all this old motor oil or these batteries or fluorescent bulbs. How are they broken down? How are they recycled? How are they used? So I like to say it's a starting point. It's a starting level. One great discussion we always get into is plastic bags. We didn't even discuss the contamination of plastic bags, which are a nightmare right now. So please do not put any form of plastic bags in your recycling toter. They are to be recycled separately. So just don't put them in your blue bin, your yellow bin, your green bin, whatever has a triangle on it. They just need to be separate.
Well, it looks like many people, they have a perception of, Porter County recycling in that they just think of them as the ones that collect the recycling and process it. And I think that, already talking to you today, I've learned stuff that I didn't even know about recycling. But even furthermore, you guys offer so much more than that. And I think that's very valuable, especially in a time where people are not really considerate or knowledgeable about their recycling. However, but moving past those adults, I understand that you do also offer classes, and you've mentioned this earlier on in the interview, for the younger children. So you have programs for K through 8. So what do these classes offer children, and how could a teacher get their class involved?
Miss Allison is just loved throughout Porter County. We actually are so incredibly blessed. We actually have a Indiana licensed teacher who is our early education educator, our K through 8. So she has put together several programs, I believe 11, if I'm counting them right off the top, 11 of them, which all meet state standards. So they are designed to meet the state standard for the curriculum that the students are in. And she teaches from worms to ladybugs to pollution to teaching about the correct ways to recycle, how to reduce, all different levels, from introducing just environmental and recycling into the classroom and into students' worlds. And there are always like a takeaway activity. There's an activity so that they can go home and now apply this. Because many times what we learned recycling as children, that's what we keep. That's what we stick with. But unfortunately, the environmental and the recycling world is changing daily. We experience this daily. Something that was recyclable a year ago might not be today because, as I said, it is driven by supply and demand. So if a manufacturer doesn't need it, maybe now it's no longer a recyclable item. Yeah. So our teacher, Miss Allison, is phenomenal in introducing this to children so that they can then go home and take these lessons to their parents and to their family members or to their siblings to say, hey, plastic bags don't go in the recycle bin. Or maybe you drank a Capri Sun, and Capri Sun pouches are really difficult to use. However, she's put them into a craft project where you can make them into something else. So she's reused it for something else. So it's just sparking creativity. She's got a very full schedule, but we're always accepting teachers in, and we're always looking for new teachers, new schools, and you can reach her. She has a long email address at allison.anderson with an E and en at portercountyrecycling.org, or you certainly can just email info@portercountyrecycling.org, and we will be happy to forward it on to Miss Allison to get her scheduled.
Absolutely.
So,
and just to spotlight ladybugs, so something so simple, right, that's in our sort of nature, sort of natural environment here local to Porter County, being able to put that insect in front of a student and say, okay, what's the impact here to our local backyard? What does this little tiny insect do for you? How does this help you in your day-to-day? Something that, students are completely fascinated by. Programming extends to beyond ladybugs, to dunes in my backyard, to edible landfill. What exactly does it mean when this piece of trash is on the sidewalk? How does this impact me? Why does this matter? So it's incredible, the scope of her programming and the impact on our youth.
Definitely. And it sounds like what you guys are doing is helping prepare a more mindful generation of students so that we can more effectively approach this very common thing. And so I know we've discussed the informational things that you guys offer, whether that be on your website or other resources, the classes, whether it be for adults and children. My question to kind of segue from this topic soon is, are there any other educational resources that we haven't mentioned yet that you guys would like to spotlight at all, or have we pretty much covered it all?
I'd like to spotlight collateral.
Sure.
Should any area groups, community groups, local businesses, nonprofits be in need of information, be in need of understanding on do's and don'ts, simple best practice to take with recycling, with zero waste, reducing, reusing, recycling, I'm forever on the quest to extend pieces out. And should there be need, should something surface with your group, absolutely feel free to extend it over. And we will, produce accordingly.
Sure. And on our website, it's challenging to find right now, but if you type the word business for search, we actually have some printouts, PDF documents that you can just download to say, like, this is, with photographs, because images are what matters, to say, like, this is for trash, this is for recycling. So emphasizing, like, those plastic bags do not go in the recycle bin. Being able to set up a separate little container to collect plastic film recycling, it makes a world of difference, in break rooms and different little areas, and emphasizing the focus. If they're clear, so then people see, oh my goodness, somebody just put garbage in that bin. That's wrong.
Yeah.
Whereas if it's a, clear collection item, then it's really easy to spot out those eyesores.
Definitely. And so then moving on from these educational resources, I know that you guys also facilitate the Adopt a County Road program. And so I just wanted to get an understanding for our listeners is what exactly this program is and how someone could get involved with it.
Sure, absolutely. So Adopt a County Road is in essence where a group of people, it could be one, it could be two, it could be a group of 10 or 15, it could be a club, it could be an organization. In essence, you have a spokesperson, if you'd like to say that, an organizer. And, a couple of times a year, you are committing to a county road. And what you're going to do is do a cleanup. And you organize that with our office. And we'll provide you the vest and some safety cones if you need them. And you can go ahead and you're just going to, let's say you pick that road and you schedule the road. You schedule it with us. We work with the highway department to make sure that the road is not, slated somewhere else. But we do work on those details for you. We get it set up. You just let us know when you're going to go clean it up, and we will be happy if you submit pictures, you send it to us. There's some minor waivers you have to sign off on, and just let us know how much material you picked up. And between the recycling department and the highway, we will get it picked up and taken off the roads to get those eyesores out of the way.
Usually Porter County Recycling has an event to celebrate Earth Day. And I understand that last year, in light of the COVID-19 pandemic, your operations slightly shifted for that. So my question to you would be, is Earth Day still happening this year? And how is the approach going to be for it?
Yes, we are. We actually just committed to a date. We are looking for Saturday, April 30th. Of course, our normal weekend we usually hold is Easter weekend this year. So we had to make some modifications, finding a location. So we will still be at the Porter County Expo Center on Saturday, April 30th. it's a little bit smaller because obviously because of COVID, and we haven't had this event for 4 years. So we're just gearing up. We just locked those dates in, I think, last week. So plans and news will be out very soon, encouraging vendors and people to sign up. We hope to have lots of different participants. We hope to have, different presents, from the rain barrel competitions to different ways we can reuse and reduce and actually rethink. Really, one of the big things to consider is rethinking. We have to rethink our ways. We really do. When you think about you're ordering a baked potato that has plastic wrapped on it, and we're saying there's too much plastic. So is there a different way we can maybe not use so much plastic, or could we use something that is more reusable? Or water bottles, can you bring in a reusable water bottle? I realize COVID has shifted, increasing plastic bags, and you have to, take everything individually now, but we're hoping to encourage rethinking that process.
Sounds good. And then in terms of events, are there any other events that you guys hold that you guys want to spotlight, or is Earth Day really the main one that you guys do?
I'd like to extend details on America Recycles Day. So America Recycles Day is a very special date here within the United States, dedicated and celebrated on November 15th. It is a date that sort of spotlights the importance of recycling, of, being good to the planet. And we are in full swing with the current student art project contest. We are, it's open to K through 12 students across Porter County, open to all Porter County school districts. And the topic this year is very simple in as much that what can you make with a recycled item? So something like your aluminum can, your newspapers. So we are, the competition is open to everyone. We are actively taking submissions and entries. There'll be top 3 prizes. So first, second, third place. Each student's winning artwork will be displayed on selected billboards across the county. So we are incredibly excited. We're in the full swing with the contest right now, actively receiving entries, and we'd like to extend out to all of the area schools to participate. Keep sending us those entries.
Mm-hmm. And just not schools, students too. So if you're homeschooled or whatnot, absolutely, it's for students. So make sure that,
Sounds good. Yeah. And then when it comes to the processing and collection, like we've already gone through, definitely. And also all of these different programs that you offer. I understand there's a lot of moving parts that you have to manage. So my question to you would be, are you currently hiring to fill positions or looking for volunteers to help facilitate these operations?
Yes and no. I'm just going to back up 1 second. We are actually, if you'd like to think of us, most of our processes we are the middleman. So we are hiring out contractors or middle woman, middle person, we're in the middle. So we are actually we are not doing the processing, with the exception of turning the compost and turning those leaves to assist in the decomposition. So we hire out the different companies to handle this material. So at this time, we are not hiring currently. Our positions are filled. However, in the spring, we manage the compost sites. So we have compost sites in Valparaiso, Portage, and Boone Grove, and they're seasonal. Well, Valparaiso is open year-round, but Boone Grove and Portage are seasonal, and so we're always looking for workers. So usually about January, February, we start a campaign. It's seasonal, it's part-time, just looking for individuals who maybe just want to get out of the house for some hours of the day and for the season, and that's what our hiring status is.
And then if someone were interested to get involved in that, how would they contact?
You would contact us either by our current phone number, the 219-510-1124. You can reach us on Facebook, or you could also do the info at portercountyrecycling.org.
Sounds good. And then, in wrapping up the interview, before we do conclude, are there any other important topics or offerings that Porter County Recycling has that you'd like to give attention to?
Sure.
I'd like to extend that we are always, forever partnering with local municipalities. Earlier this summer, we partnered with the town of Hebron in an effort to produce collateral that was mailed out as a direct mail piece to area residents in an effort to help mitigate contamination and extend very basic details and new knowledge and insights on, what can be placed in the trash, what can be placed in your recycling bin. So we are always open to conversation, very much partnering with all of the local municipalities across the county. And as far as housekeeping details, I will extend that the month of November, in addition to our fantastic America Recycles Day contest, is also soon to bring daylight savings time. And we will have some hour changes to our compost site. So more details to follow on that. We will be extending out some info. And should anybody be interested in receiving our weekly newsletter or updates from us with relative to programming, feel free to reach out to info@portercountyrecycling.org, and we will get your contact info added into the mix ASAP.
Sounds good. And then...
Actually, a couple more things as well.
course.
So, important thing to note, Erika and I are regularly scheduled with different businesses, different organizations. We're always willing to come on site. We're always willing to talk to different groups and just talk about plastic bags. And many times it's not... People get very frustrated with the recycling industry, and we understand that. We face this daily. But if you understand and hear the reasoning why, maybe like pizza boxes, for instance, pizza boxes are they recyclable? Are they not? You hear it on Good Morning America. You hear it, in the New York news. You hear it in Chicago. Oh, Chicago and New York, even though we're close to Chicago, it's still a different market. Mm-hmm. It can be a different market. So you have to pay attention locally. And yes, unfortunately in our area, pizza boxes with grease and chunks of sausage and pepperoni and all those gooey topics, if they're in your box, that is trash. Mm-hmm. However, if you have a clean part of your cardboard, it is absolutely clean. Tear it off, and that clean part of cardboard goes to the recycle bin. The greasy and the food remnants, unfortunately, have to make it to the trash. So that's just a great example. I mean, plastic bags, we just like to share with people what ends up happening. And then they realize, oh, okay, this is why I cannot do it. So if there's a reason behind it, and Erika and I are very happy to come and talk to different groups, schools. We've done after programs, businesses, noon luncheons. We've been invited to many different things. So we're happy to do that. And then secondly, I want to throw out, we have a really cool opportunity for all Porter County residents, and we have the event recycling containers. And what this is it's a container you just meet, you fill out a form and you request, maybe you're having a big event, maybe you're having with the holidays coming up, and you don't want to fill up your entire recycle bin. So, but you're going to be putting together recyclables, or you're going to be serving water bottles, or you're going to be serving wine, or whatever you're serving, and you have these recyclables. You call us, you go online and you fill out the form, and you just make an appointment and you meet us, and we give you these containers, and then you just bring the containers back to us, and you can actually drop off the recyclables at the different locations as well too. So, and it's free. It doesn't cost anything. It just takes some time. You have to meet us and fill out some forms, and it diverts a lot of recyclables from the landfill to recycling. And then people are happy as well, because maybe there are a whole bunch of people in their house and they had to fill up their whole recycle bin and they didn't have to wait for it to be dumped. So it's a win-win for everybody.
Definitely. Can you repeat the website where listeners can find more information about PCR, and also any contact information that you find relevant?
Absolutely. So as for contact information, our general sort of email is info@portercountyrecycling.org. We intercept a variety of general inquiries via that email address. Beyond that, our main phone line currently is 219-510-1124.
Can I throw in Facebook?
Sorry. Yeah.
Recycles Porter County. Recycle Porter County is our Facebook tagline.
Sounds good. And then just if you have one overall message that you want for our listeners to take away from today, what would it be?
We're here to help.
Sounds good. Yeah. And I think it's very evident in everything that we've discussed. I mean, you guys offer so very much to help, whether you're young or older, help us become more mindful citizens, and help us maintain a better environment. So I'm very thankful for you guys coming on in today, and I'm thankful for everything you do for our community. So that was Erika Mihalek and Keri Barrón informing us about everything going on in the world of recycling in Porter County. That's going to conclude this week's edition of Porter County Perspective. Until next time, for all those listeners out there who, just like me, learned a lot from today, stay tuned to learn more, because we're going to be providing you with some information, courtesy of Porter County Recycling, in order to make you more mindful and equip you with the ability to recycle properly. So keep listening for that. Otherwise, have a wonderful day. Whether you know it or not, the Recycling and Waste Reduction District of Porter County provides the following services. Number 1, drop-off recycling self-service at multiple locations. Number 2, smoke detector disposal at 2 compost sites as well as several local fire departments. Number 3, battery and light bulb recycling at compost sites. Number 4, electronics recycling drop-off locations. Number 5, free self-loading at mulch and compost sites. Number 6, outreach and education in various forums. And number 7, household hazardous waste collection. To find out more about all of these resources that Porter County Recycling offers and how you can get access to them, visit their website at www.portercountyrecycling.org. That's www.portercountyrecycling.org.